So here we are going to see the what are the different types of the classful IP address in the IPv4 addressing mechanism. The IPv4 address are broadly classified into the 5 categories. The first category is Class A IP address, Class B IP address, C, D, E. Right. So one more point you have to remember means the first 3 IP address of the classful IP address, nothing but Class A, Class B, Class B. We are using for the one-to-one communication. Nothing but the to communicate the one system with the another system. We are using the Class A, Class B, Class C. It means that we are going to perform the unicasting operation, right? So Class D is used for the multicasting operation. Multicasting operation means if you want to communicate one device to the group of device in the network, then we use something called as the multicasting operation. Then we have the one more classifications of the IP address, that is nothing but the Class E, which is used for the reserved purpose. In future, if some requirement come up, then they are going to use the Class E IP address, such that they have designed the classful IP address mechanism with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 types. Now, the moment if you are going to give some IP address to the system, right? So first thing is that what here we have to do is, after doing in terms of the dotted decimal number system, we need to identify what type of IP address it is. It is mandatory to find out the what type of IP address we are using in the networking mechanism, right? So as we discussed that we have these many IP address mechanism, right? Either it may be Class A, B, Class C, Class D, Class C. Most probably we are using only Class A, Class B, Class C IP address only, right? So again, as we discussed in the previous class, there is two ways to represent, right? One is in terms of the binary notation, another one in terms of the dotted decimal notation, right? So now first we'll try to complete in terms of the dotted decimal notation, right? So if you want to remember, so see how to remember means, so it will be consist of the 4 octets, right? Octet 1, octet 2, 3, 4. It means that each octet will be consist of the 8-bit representation. So total length will be, right? So 4 octets, right? 4 into 8 is nothing but the 32-bit length, that is nothing but the IPv4 address, right? So for example, let me write the octet value. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Now question is that how to identify whether the given IP address is either it is Class A or Class B or Class C or Class D or Class C, right? So remember, this is the important point. Out of these 4 octets, based on the first octet only, we are going to identify what is the type of or class of the particular IP address. It means that suppose if something IP address is given 1 dot and something, we are not going to consider these remaining 3 octets. By using this single octet, we are going to find out either it is belonging to Class A or Class B, Class C, Class D, Class C. Remember, by using the first octet, we are going to identify what type of IP classification it is, right? Now see that for remembering purpose, the Class A will start from something 0 to 127, then 128 to 191, 192 to 223, 224 to 239, 242 to 255. So this is somewhat difficult for us to remember this series for what is Class A, something like this. Now let me tell you some simple code. So if you remember that code, you can able to find out what is the range of the Class A, Class B, Class C as well as D and E, right? So each octet we will be having the 8-bit representation, right? By using this 8-bit representation only, we are going to identify what type of IP address it is, right? So let me write the binary formula again for the 8-bit value. What is the binary formula? 1248 16 32 64 128. See that these are the 8-bit value. Now see that, so first what is the type of IP address we will be having? A, after that B, C, D, E, right? Now see that, just what is the value here? 128, right? You just write here 128. Next we add the 128 plus 64. What is the value? Something 128 plus 64 is nothing but 128, right? Just you write here. Next, this time we have added 2 things, right? Next you add the 3. 128 plus 64 is nothing but the 192 plus 32, right? So what is the value? 224, right? Just you write the 224 here. Now just add these things 1, 2, 3, 4. What is the value? 240, right? So we don't have F, G, H classes, right? So again we don't need to perform the addition operation. This is sufficient for us. Now see that this class B starting from where? 128. It means that before that we have the class A, right? So I told that this is the octet 8-bit representation, right? 8-bit representation means maximum possibility will be 256. It means that somehow it should be start from the 0, it should be ended with the 255. If class B is starting with 128, then previous is nothing but the class A, right? It means that you can consider from 0 to, if it is starting from 128, what should be the end of the class A? It is 127. Like that you can remember simple way. Now this is the starting IP address of the class B. Now where it is ending the class B IP address? So if class C is starting from 192 means it will end with the 191. Now if class C is starting from 192, if class D is starting from 224 means where it will end? It will end to 223. Now if class E is starting from 240 means it will end to the 239. So what is the maximum value we can give? 255. So this is the way you can remember the address of the class A, class B, class C, D and E. Right? Now see that for example the given question is something like this. Identify 201.01.110 something. Now how to identify the IP address based on the this first octet value, right? So 201 means where it is lying? It is lying in between 192 to 223, right? So this is what we called as the class C IP address. By using the first byte, we are going to identify the what type of the IP address. This is what in case of the representation in terms of the dotted decimal notation for different classes. But in case if you are writing, most probably we are not going to write the binary representation. In real time we used to write only in terms of the dotted decimal notation. If you see that here how we am giving the binary number representation in terms of the only dotted decimal, not in terms of the binary notation. So we don't require to invest the much time on the binary notation. Suppose for example if you want to find out the right what is the class of the IP address in terms of the binary notation, the thing is that by using first octet, second one, third one, fourth one, right? So if it is 0, if anything is start with 0, it is nothing class A. If it is out of 8 bits, nothing but 2 bits are identification purpose, remaining 6 bit will be assigned to the first bit value, right? So if 10 is started, it is nothing but class B. If 1110 is there, it is class C. 410 it is there, it is class D, right? So sorry, 1110 means class D, 4 ones means class C. So these are the identification purpose. In the first octet out of 8 bits, these bits are considered to identify the classes of the IP addresses. Now see that as we know that class A is, this is the range, this is the range, this is the range. As we discussed, A, B, C are used for the unicasting operation. D is for multicasting operation. E is used for the reserved purpose. Now we need to find out something called as the, if we consider any address, either it may be class A, class B, class C, class D, means we have the two parts, right? So one is called as the network part, another one is called as the host part. Each IP address will be having consist of the two things. One is called as the network part, another one is called as the host part. Suppose for example if you observe here, I have this is one network, this is another network. In real time we may having these kind of networks, multiple networks we might be having, right? So now question is that we need to identify the moment if you take either class A, class B, class C, how many maximum number of network you will be getting, right? So after finding the networks, how many networks here I may be having here? 2 networks. After finding the networks, what is the maximum number of IP address that we can able to assign to the this mission, this mission, this mission, this mission? So assigning of the IP address to this system is called as the host portion. Finding the how many number of different networks we have, that is nothing but the network portion. It means that each mechanism will be having the network portion as well as the host portion. Host portion is used to assign the unique or logical address to the end devices or system. Now if you consider the class A addressing mechanism, means as I told multiple times, we have the 4 8-bit rights. So first portion is nothing but the network, right? So how many networks we will be getting? 2 power 8 networks. Now why here it is 2 power 8 minus 1 means, so if you observe in the previous slide what I have explained, so if you see that in class A, For identification purpose, which type of address it is? Out of 8-bit representation, first bit is 0, which is used for the identification purpose. Remaining 7 bits only, nothing but your network portion. For class B, 2 bits are identification purpose, remaining 6 bits are the only for the identification purpose. So that is the reason why they are writing something like this. So this is first 8 bits for the network portion, this is for host portion, host portion, host portion. Now how many networks we will be getting in terms of 2 power 8? So out of 8 bits, 1 bit is used for what? Identification purpose. So total number of networks we will be getting these many networks, 128 networks. Now see that in class B how they are divided means they have the 2 8 bits, nothing but the 2 networks, 2 hosts, nothing but 2 networks, 2 hosts in class B. In class C they have 3 network bits, network, network, net, one more is the host. Now you might be having the doubt why it is only 1 network, 3 host bits, 2 networks, 2 host bits, 3 networks, 1 host bit, right? The thing is that, for example, see that here the network bit is the 24 bits, the remaining 8 bits are the host bit. It means that which is used to assign the IP address for the end devices. So 8 means how many maximum number of address we will be getting? 256. It means that the moment if I have any class C network, I can able to get the unique IP address is nothing but the 256 only. Now we consider in our scenario, you required more number of networks. As per your requirement, you required more number of networks with less number of the host IP address. Now which one is preferred? Where we will be getting the more number of network? See that here 8 plus 8, nothing but 2 power 24 networks we will be getting. If you go for class B, 2 power 8 plus 8 is nothing but you will be getting 2 power 6 networks, 16 networks. If you going for class A, you will be getting 2 power 8 of the network. So depends upon our requirement. If you require more number of networks, less number of the host, you go for class C. If you require moderate, you go for the class B. If networks is not matter for you, even though if you require only less number of network, if you require the more host, nothing but 2 power 24 host, then you go for the class A addressing mechanism. See that. So here how many value we have? 2, right? So 8 plus 8, nothing but the 16 bit value. Out of this, for identification for the class B is 10, right? So remaining 16 bit means 2 power 16 minus 2, these many networks we will be getting. For class C, we will be getting these many networks, right? So next class what we will do is we will try to find out the what is the subnet masking, then how to find out the subnet masking we will see. Thank you guys.